Unfortunately, we have found our team that's going to be at the bottom of the ladder for the foreseeable future. Yes, we could say it's the Bunnies, but at this stage, it looks like it'll be the Gold Coast Titans. How much can they rely on Jaden Campbell and Dave Fafita returning in the next few weeks? They need a lot of things to change, and the first part of that is going to be their defensive intensity, unfortunately. There's a high chance that they do lose Tino. I very much hope that it is up to that 4 weeks mark with an MCL injury and that it's not going to be, unfortunately, that ACL. This team at the moment, as I said, the defensive intensity is where you win and lose games. We spoke about that with the Bunnies in the previous video yesterday, so go back and check that out. I would appreciate that. But in this Titans team, for a dog side to come out and put 32 on you, the defensive output at the end especially, the effort plays, like these guys are just getting over so easily, especially that with the very much the same in the Cowboys game, which we'll speak about in a second. But this Titans team needs to absolutely sort things out very, very quickly. Otherwise, it's going to be a very long season. Des Hasler comes in. He's at the helm, and he unfortunately can't get much out of him. You saw, Justin Holbrook, even when he got, even after he got, before he got fired there, he was doing a pretty solid job. The Titans were in 8th, and they decided instead that they would look forward to the future and, sack him on the spot and get Des Hasler in for next year very, very quickly and just go, look, this is the direction we're going with at the moment. Holbrook, you're not in these plans. And you look back at that and go, well, was Holbrook actually getting a lot more out of them than what Des is? Yes, this is round 2, but Titans never looked like this for more than 1 week. They're very much an up and down side, and we have seen in 2 games now, they have no ability to score points. They don't look like scoring. They don't look close. And unfortunately, the defensive output is not good enough. So they need to turn things around, and we will give them one more chance because we have seen 3 games from the Bunnies. We've only seen 2 from the Titans and 2 from the Tigers, but the Tigers with a nice bounce back. The Dogs here with a nice bounce back as well. Very impressive for them. And this was on the back of a really nice start to last week. Their first half was really, really good against the Sharks, and they were able to show this against the Titans team. Let's hope that that now we've seen their attack, that their defense can really build on this 32-0 scoreline, and they'll get a lot of confidence out of that. I think Kickout at the end of the game came out and said that how impressed he was out of all of it that they kept the side to 0, and obviously a lot of teams do focus on defense, but does it actually come through in the game? And for the Dogs in this one, it absolutely shone through. A very incredible performance by them. Big shout out to Karaz and his ability to create things out of nothing. And then when they do have their foot on the throat, guys like Reed Marnie can really dictate terms through the middle, obviously through his kicking boot, his passing, but his running game was on song in this one. And when you can go to the left-hand side as well with Kickout, with Burton, with Connor Tracy doing great things out there with Stephen Crichton, to then have a weapon on the right-hand side with Preston with a nice try, but also Kiraz and Blake Wilson out there. If they can get things right through the middle defensively and on those edges, which they didn't show last week, they can be a really formidable outfit over the next few weeks and really build on this win. For the Cowboys win here, the big worry here for them, and again, each and every year it's the same, is their first 20 minutes of games. Their defense is absolutely shocking, and thank goodness for them, and they know it as well. They clearly know it, that they can just come over the top of teams with their attack, and that was the case in this one. To allow 24 points to a Dragons team that got absolutely smashed last week by the Dolphins, who are going to be a fringe top 8 team, Cowboys should be expecting better from themselves. With the quality of outfit that they have, the attack that they can put on, their defense needs to fix itself up, because if they come up against a better team than that of the Dragons, they are going to get smashed, and that team is going to put 30 on them, 30-0 or something like that in the first half, and the Cowboys won't be able to come back from that. And we saw that last year. They would let teams get out to massive leads, and they'd fight hard and they get close to pegging it back. But if that's the case again, it's not going to work at all, unfortunately, for this side. In the positive news, though, they're one of the best attacking teams in the comp. It's clear as day that they can put on points against anyone. They haven't played some top-tier sides yet. Obviously, having the Knights last week, they didn't play very good at all and just snuck out that win. Good to see that they can dig it out, but they need to fix their defensive woes before we can celebrate their attack. With Drinkwater, with Val Holmes, Chatty and Tommy playing great, obviously there as well. And then Robson looking better than ever with his try assist as well. There's so much to like about this Cowboys side, but their defense needs to fix up before they can really compete for a premiership. On the Dragons side, their defense, shocking. Worse than that of the Titans in the back end as well. They were basically letting guys just carry themselves over the line and score. The Townsend try, there's a couple there at the end that just weren't good enough defensively, and they need to have a hard look at themselves as well. Every team here you're seeing, guys, that isn't playing well. A lot of teams are getting cricket scores put on them at the moment. It's because their defense has been very, very lackluster and needs a big improvement. So, good to see they do have some attack in them, right? We saw that in round 1. We didn't see it last week at all, and we only got to see it for about 20 minutes in this game. So that's not great. If they can fix up their defense, we can see what they can do on the other end. So it's a very clear fix for the Dragons, and they need to show that in the next few weeks. So we'll be watching for that for sure. Now for the Tigers, very, very impressive win for them. 32-6 over the Sharks, who were very, very underwhelming. But a lot of it was to do with the Tigers and their incredible output. Big shout out to the suburban grounds, Belmore and Leichhardt Oval. Absolutely incredible places to be and to watch when your team's playing well. I unfortunately got to see a Tigers win against my Cowboys at Leichhardt Oval once. It wasn't great viewing. It wasn't great wearing the Cowboys jersey, being one of the only ones. But an impressive victory from the Tigers and a massive bounce back from last week. So, hats off to their players for responding after a shocking effort last week. But a lot of the pressure was on Benji Marshall through the week, and he's been having questions asked of him around his coaching style, his how often he's in. He's been not one of the first to be in the in their facilities each and every day, and asking the NRL Fox Sports commentators and the NRL commentators asking him about his golf game and where that's at the moment, and he knows where all this is coming from, and he really just needed his players to turn up, play well, and do a cracking job, and that's exactly what they did, led by Appy Coruscant, led by Caesar getting him around, and Lockie Galvin and Jareem Buller. Tigers fans, get excited about these two impressive young footballers, and if they can combine like they did again last night and in their first game as well, there's signs there that the Tigers can come out of this in a really, really good place. That first game wasn't great. Their trials weren't great. But this was a big step up, a big improvement to knock off a top 8 side in the Sharks. Was a massive, massive effort. Working really hard through the middle. Appy, crafty as he is, he can create anything. Almost scored a try himself, and it had a couple of try assists he did. And then to be able to, all the big boppers get plenty of run meters, which you saw, and then get it out to their centers and the wingers. And obviously Olam did great work in this one, so he's going to be a major plus for this side. Super excited for the Tigers, and let's just hope that they can do it on a week-to-week basis, because again, that's something that we haven't seen yet, and let's hope that can happen. And on the Sharks side, they need to have a hard look at themselves as well, just because defensively they weren't up to scratch. Everything they tried as well didn't work out for them, and you do hope that they can bounce back from this, because defensively, fight was their best thing in the first 2, so you do just hope that it was a bit of an ambush and they can come out of this game better. The Tigers were able to crunch teams at times last year randomly. That happens with all the teams. You see here the Dogs come out and played great. We expected this game to be closer, and it wasn't. Same to that with the Tigers. And you just have to watch Sharks and how they respond next week before we have a further talk about them. Thanks for watching this, guys. And I hope you enjoyed the last 2 games.